How do you fix them?
This is a difficult thing for me to say. I'm not there yet, but I'm approaching the point where I'm believing that it might, if not right now, it may soon be time for Sam Presti to make a coaching change. Billy Donovan's going to have to figure this out. They look like a very average basketball team. They can't figure things out on the offensive end of the floor. Russell Westbrook has amped up his shot attempts. They were all averaging 16 apiece, 16 shots apiece. Now Russell Westbrook's up to 20. Paul George is at 17. He's second on the team. Carmelo Anthony is at third with 16 a game. Carmelo Anthony is making the necessary sacrifices offensively. Defensively, they're one of the top 3 or 4 teams in basketball. Offensively is where their problem lies. They play hero basketball 1 minute. They're distributing the basketball the next. 1 minute they're getting everybody involved. Another minute they're not getting anybody involved. They're playing hero ball. They can't seem to find any kind of rhythm, any rhyme or reason to what they're doing on a consistent basis. And I have to look at the coaching. I remember one game I'm watching, and Billy Donovan is sending in somebody to take Carmelo Anthony out. And Carmelo Anthony waves him off like, I'm not coming out. And he was like, okay. You know, you get the impression sometimes that it's one thing for him to have success as a 2-time champion in college as a coach at Florida, coaching Joakim Noah, Al Horford and those boys. It's another thing entirely when you're on the NBA level and players are looking at you like you're still a college coach, because some of the things that you're doing and some of the suggestions that you're making lends itself towards reminding them of what their days were like in college. Again, I'm fond of Billy Donovan. I like him as a person, and I think he's a damn good coach, at least on the collegiate level. On a pro level, he just took you to a conference finals game 7 a couple of years ago, Max. But I am growing concerned because he doesn't seem capable to make the adjustments handling this 3-headed monster that is George, Melo, and Russell Westbrook. And even though Russell Westbrook re-upped with that $200+ million contract, Paul George is still free to leave after this year. Melo is still free to leave after this year. And if you want those guys to stay, or you want to have an attractive situation that could invite others to come, you had better improve upon this situation if you are Sam Presti. And it might be changing the coach.
Billy Donovan doesn't have to go. Billy Donovan, Stephen A., as you mentioned, took a Thunder team to Game 7 on the road against Golden State, and it came down to a couple of plays against a 73-win team. They were that close. It's not a Billy Donovan issue. Look, is he the best coach in the league? No. Does Daryl Morey, Sam Presti is known as the guy who's not just about the stats, but he's about the kind of whole team and culture and stuff, and yet they seem to be kind of an ad hoc team recently. They're kind of improvising. Okay, we lose Durant. What do? We go get some other players. What kind of system do they really run? What do they fit into? Whereas you look at Houston and Daryl Morey, he hires D'Antoni. They look at the numbers. We're even going to shoot more threes because that's the way to optimize our chances of winning, to maximize our chances. And then he gets players who fit into that. And that's not what Presti has done quite. These are both great GMs. Presti hasn't done that quite. Okay, so you can look at the GM, you can look at the coach, but that's not really the issue, Stephen A. The issue is, or the guy who's going to have to fix it is, Russell Westbrook. It's going to come down to him. It is Russell Westbrook's legacy that is on the line, like it or not, fair or not. What's fair, Stephen A.? What's fair again? A place where they judge pigs, right? It's not fair to Russell Westbrook, but that's the way it is. Does he want to be remembered as Pistol Pete or LeBron James? LeBron James has been on teams, even this one, with a lot of talent, but these kind of ill-fitting pieces, big egos, whatever else. He uses the early part of the season to figure out a way to get it done. No one's going to remember Billy Donovan. They're going to remember Russell Westbrook. And that doesn't just mean he has to pull even harder, take even more shots, which is his impulse. He has to figure out a way to get this team to work together. With a guy like Carmelo Anthony, Stephen A., who needs to adjust his self-image. When he first got to town, they asked him if he'd come off the bench. He laughed. Ginobili comes off the bench, and he made that switch. Dwayne Wade comes off the bench, and he volunteered. Other players greater than Carmelo Anthony in Wade's case have done it. Why is Carmelo laughing that off? he's going to have to adjust his self-image. But the guy who's going to get all that done, like it or not, is not some new coach they bring in. It's on Russell Westbrook. It's his responsibility because it's going to be on him ultimately. History is going to be watching him. He's got to figure this out.